Hello buddy, this is Purge, bringing you guys a first-person replay commentary. This is a Viper game that I played like 8 seconds ago, and I thought I would commentate it immediately afterwards. Just don't mind me while I adjust my chair. I want to get a little closer to the desk if I'm going to be leaning into the mic. I'm wearing a blanket. It's cold as hell here in Korea. It's like a little bit below 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius, so it's like kind of cold. That's not super bad. I actually feel good now. Anyways, Viper is the hero. I think I haven't made a Viper game in a while. This surprises me because he's like one of my go-to heroes because you just kind of like run at people and you kill them usually. So, I don't know. A little surprised I haven't made a game in a while, but this is actually for a solo queue game, ranked solo queue. This I was sitting at like 48, like 48.80 right now. Before this game was played. I think I lost like 50 in the last day or two. I haven't played that much, not as much as I wanted to recently, but I think I'm getting, I feel stronger right now than I did before. I feel like I've been playing only support and ranked, and I get a lot of practice pulling and zoning and stuff like that, so I feel really good at tri-laning right now as a support. And I feel like that's giving me a huge advantage over other people at the level. Like, there's people that have higher MMR than me that pick support only on purpose, and their tri-lane principles are really bad, and it really holds them back because if your early game is good, it zones the offlaner, it gets your hard carry more farm. It's just really, really good for your team. But that's irrelevant to this game because I'm playing mid. This is like one of the rare games where nobody wants to play mid, so I was like, I guess I'll go mid, and I saw we had a Tide Hunter, and I saw we had a Spectre, and I really like doing like four-man strats basically, and that was my general idea, is that if I get Viper and I get a fast mech, then our team can go and fight, and I have magic resistance against a lot of their good heroes. Like, for example, Viper is good against certain heroes. He doesn't have a huge skill cap, which is part of the reason I'm probably good at him, but or at least usually okay at him. But it allows you to turn plays around as they focus you. So if you get out of position, that's what you want to happen. You want to get out of position with Viper, you want them to go onto you, and you want to survive the damage and dish out a little bit back. He does a medium amount of damage, I would say. He doesn't do a huge amount of damage unless you snowball, but he mostly is about tanking damage and then staying alive in team fights. So he's really good against big team fight ultimates because he usually can survive through them. That's the point of the hero. So he's great against Silencer because if Silencer global silences, there's very low chance I'm going to die. It's not like I need to like cast a spell to become relevant in a fight. I just need to stay alive, reflect damage with corrosive skin, and slow them down. And then once that's all over, I can ulti and start orbing people down, hopefully. Counters against him in this game, I would say Meepo is pretty good, and Phantom Assassin is pretty good. Phantom Assassin only does physical damage, and she does crits, so if she does get a damage advantage over me, like an item advantage, she can very easily solo kill me if she gets like a lot of items. I feel like my chair's already messed up. So Phantom Assassin's pretty good. The reason Meepo is good because once he gets enough Meepos, he can hold me in position indefinitely unless I get a Black King bar. So getting a Black King bar this game is pretty important, I think. I messed up my block here and I was really sad about it because the whole entire purpose that I want this item build was that I'd have big stats in the early game and I'd have a lot of regen. That way I could trade hits with Meepo and hopefully lower his farm rate because Meepo usually farms really fast in the beginning of the game. And I learned a lot about it this game. So I'm going up on their hill. I'm very happy to do this. I should be denying, actually. I didn't focus enough on denying the first couple creep waves, but keeping him at a lower level is really important because if I don't keep him low level, then he's going to get to 3 fairly fast, and once he hits 3, it's like a free heal, essentially, because then with his new Meepo, he can end up staying in the lane, and with his old Meepo, you can go back and heal. So that's why you can get away with just boots and a tango on Meepo. It's because once you hit 3, you're good to go. You can go back to base. So I'm kind of trying to hit this guy a lot, but part of the problem is that he's actually trading, or sorry, his creeps are dying, or my creeps are dying before his creeps because he had a better block than me. So this means he has a level 2 advantage over my level 1, which means that I'm actually not able to do a huge amount right now. I have to be kind of careful here. Luckily for me, the Ember was paying attention. If I went to back, that should have been a kill. If I would have gotten a little bit less scared there. I got a little too scared. I should have pushed up on him as soon as the Earth Spirit came up. That's completely my fault, like entirely my fault. I really should have been able to get that kill, like definitely. And there it is. So he hits level 3. His damaged Meepo is going to go all the way home, and his other Meepo is going to come back. And now it's going to continue laning, and it's kind of like a free salve if you think about it. So. But that's kind of why I wanted to pick Viper, because he has pretty good lane control and he's pretty resistant to damage, so he's kind of able to get these kills, I felt. My last thing was kind of okay here, but I felt like it wasn't very good the first couple of waves. So again, apply poison when I can. Happy to apply corrosive skin here. Keep putting poison attack on both if possible, because it's going to slow down their attack speed. That was really close. If the Earth Spirit didn't come, I definitely would have died. That was so big, because I wasn't even playing that well. I don't have very good CS. He's definitely out farming me. If we look at the net worth, I'm sure he's way ahead. Well, he was before. He's not anymore. Now I have a huge advantage, but actually he doesn't have that many last hits. He's only got 5, so he's a little behind. And now we just kind of have to play safe and sap experience, because Earth Spirit helped me out and I lived with a little HP, which is overall worth it. So I brought myself a salve and a bottle. That way I can get myself to full HP right away, and then I can also transfer the bottle. Someone's trying to take the courier right away. There we go. Bottle is maybe the wrong choice here, because it doesn't help me get away from Meepo, but when Meepo catches me, I'm kind of caught anyway, so I don't know. I'm not sure if that was that important, but the other nice part is that with the bottle, I can regen up pretty easily, and it also recovers a lot of my mana, and since I'm using a lot of harass, I don't think that's too bad to have. It's definitely good to have a little bit of mana source. I didn't do a very good job rune controlling this game, and part of the problem is that Viper can't push the wave very easily, especially compared to Meepo. So me getting runes is more of like, if I can get a rune, that would be really nice kind of a thing. So luckily for me, I actually had wards on both rune spots, so that would help me control or at least pick the good ones. Again, just focusing on last hits, get as much last hits as possible. Again, my last hitting right now is terrible. This is really low. I should have way more than this. But I did focus a lot on right-clicking him and less on last hitting. Less than I should have. Also, corrosive skin messes up your last hit sometimes. If you're not paying attention, so the creeps will be hitting you, and they'll be taking 10 magic damage a second, and then all of a sudden they're going to be low. My skill build, you could maybe argue against. I think I misclicked the third poison attack. I actually wanted to go 2 corrosive skins, I think, rather than another poison attack. But the poison attack's pretty good because it does allow me to chase down the Meepo a little easier. I don't think Nether Toxin is the right way to go against the Meepo. You really want to kill his mobility more than anything else. I was kind of upset that the Ember Spirit took that rune, because it was just a bounty and I could have bottled it. Unfortunately, I thought I was going to get that one. But corrosive skin's really good to max out in a lot of games, especially a game like this where they have a huge amount of magic damage. They've got Sand King, which I counter. They've got Silencer, which I pretty much counter. They've got Centaur, which I counter. It's 3 heroes that rely almost entirely on Magic Burst, at least in the early game, to be effective heroes. So if I can counter that, I didn't realize Catapult was hitting that. That was really unfortunate. But if I can counteract that with lots of level of corrosive skin and a mechanism, then I'm gonna go a really long ways towards doing good things. I was transferring my boots here, a little bit of trouble. So bottle's going back, and now I'm gonna farm towards my my mechanism. I don't know if I did this or not, but I think that I should be getting more last hits. I could have ultied that, I think. I maybe could have gone for it. No, I don't think I would have gotten that kill. He would have poofed in the other one and maybe netted me or something, but Mechanism is really useful to have on Viper. I've tried playing it without, Viper without Mechanism, because remember mech mana cost increase lately, but I still don't think it's worth it because you can't really afford, you can't afford the extra mana cost, and you really need the heal, and you need the armor really bad. Like one game I tried to just go fast ags, and it was terrible. I was dying to physical damage that normally wouldn't be that terrible that I could definitely survive through. But losing the 5 armor when your HP is so high is actually a huge loss. So make sure that you do end up getting a mech. I think it's pretty much core. I don't really think there's a case where it's okay to skip. So I grabbed Hedros first. I think this is the wrong choice, but since the courier was back, I wanted to transfer the items out. So it's like I want to buy something that I can use, so I got the Hedros. Not really necessarily a good choice, especially if I already have bottle. I think if I really would have been more happy with having a buckler there, but unfortunately my last hits are bad, and I didn't have buckler money. Buckler money is good, again, because it gives armor. The headdress is good for a little bit of regen, but it's not that beneficial. So I got a rune here. It's an invis, so I'm going to shift over to that. Kind of not using my bottle very much, but you have to remember that Meepo's playing the lane really passive because I'm able to be aggressive. And if I have leftover charges, I'm going to give them to my support here if possible. So I'll bottle up the Earth Spirit here. He's doing a good job. And with this invis rune, I should be able to gank with it. And that's kind of what I was thinking. If I have an invis rune, I can try to set up a kill on the safe lane carry or the off lane or somebody that's not expecting it, because I can break invis and ulti somebody. Now they have a good counter to that with Centaur, so I have to be careful. I didn't think about that until I started my gank, but if Centaur ultis, they run max movement speed anyway, so if somebody's ever out of position, Centaur ulti can save them. And I didn't think about that when I first went in. You always have to think ahead, like a step ahead of what you're expecting. Not only what you're planning to do, but also the way that you're expecting your opponents to plan or to account for what you're then doing. And if you can think a step ahead, you're more likely to guarantee that you do get those kills off. So really important to do. Levels on Meepo. He's actually the same level as me right now, which is pretty good. My net worth is second highest in the game. Our Spectre was really active this game. He's 3-0 right here, which is really fantastic. And here comes my gank. So teleport to the lane, pop the invis, and I'm gonna walk into position. He was almost, the tide was almost 6, and that's what I based this off of. Unfortunately, he got out of there. I didn't think, I thought maybe that Tide didn't have, they didn't have vision on Tide, so he complained afterwards that I should have bottled him, and he's right. If I would have bottled him, it would have been really good, because I could have kept him alive. The reason I ultied the silencer over the PA was because PA has evasion. I don't know how many evasion points he has right now. He only has 1, so I maybe could have gone for that, but I grabbed a regen here, which was fine. So look how little damage I take. I've got 3 levels of corrosive skin. I've got 20% magic resistance. Those guys can't touch me at all. So in games like this, where they're very, very magic burst heavy, maxing corrosive skin first is very, very good. Some players like to go 1-1-4, but I like to get a couple levels of poison attack. Otherwise, I feel like I actually don't do anything but ulti and reflect damage. It's like I have no control over whether or not I can slow them. It's only if they decide to go on me, and I don't really like that. Especially if you're in a 1v1 lane. If you're playing carry, like hard carry in the safe lane, then sure, whatever. Don't get that many poison attacks if you're not ever hitting the offlane hero. But if you're in a 1v1 role, I feel like at least 2 poison attacks is mandatory, because it doubles the slow speed. Goes from 10% to 20%. I think that's pretty necessary. So I've got a regen here. I'm trying to finish my mech. I'm about 500 gold away. I should be holding a TP scroll in case the fight happens. And in fact, I could be going bottom right now. It's not like I have a mech, but I do have a bottle, which in some ways is kind of like a mechanism in the early game. As long as you avoid damage, you can come back a second later and hopefully get kills. But instead I sat mid and I got last hits, which is maybe the wrong choice, because being bottom would have been helpful to my allies. Almost guaranteed. But at the same sense, I might have died. You know, who knows? So, Disruptor unfortunately dies down there. So I'm just going to sit back for now, try to finish my mechanism as fast as possible. I'm also going to push as fast as possible, because you don't just want a static farm, you also want to threaten a tower going down. And if I can do damage to a tower, that's really good. Got a little tower gold there. Got a PA now. This is kind of the part where I have to be careful, and I didn't think about this enough while I was playing. Well, I looked here, because Spectre ulted, so I wanted to see where everybody was in case I was going to get ganked, and I said, okay, nobody's here. And there's my mech. Unfortunately, the Curse flying out, so I can't just use it right away, but I thought at this point, like, I've got mech coming, I'm going to be really survivable, I've got 3 levels of corrosive skin, I'm pretty hard to kill, and we just saw where all their supports were, and they're nowhere near close to me, so I kind of played a little bit too greedy for a little long. And that's something you really have to be concerned about when you're playing Viper, especially when I'm playing this far up. I'm really far up. I'm on their side of the river. There's lots of ways they can get behind me. I bought a magic stick as well. Magic stick is fantastic for keeping your survivability up, especially if you have a mech that's really expensive, because mech costs 225 mana. If you also put a stick on top of that, it guarantees that you'll be able to use the mech. I almost never got use of my bolters. I don't even like my position here. I should have ran on my side of the river, I think. But Tide was here as well, so I was like, I feel pretty comfortable. He actually doesn't have his ulti though, and I should have checked how long it was. And again, I'm playing way too far up. Another mistake I made. I saw that the invis rune was bot lane, but I didn't go for it. I went for the bounty because it was closer to me, and I can't really use invis that much. And I knew, I could have predicted that that was going to happen. That was a really bad death. Especially because I was ahead. I have pretty good CS. It's behind. I have 50 at 11 minutes, which you should have like 50 minimum at 10 minutes. And so my CSing was really mediocre this game. I mean, it's higher than a lot of other people, but that doesn't excuse it. If you really want to get better, that should be something that you don't mess up, that you get really good at CSing, so that's inexcusable for me. But anyways, I've got mech now, I've got a magic stick. I was kind of sad that I didn't have all that stuff ready to go when I got ganked, but I don't think it was going to make that big of a difference. I was going to die no matter what. Like, because once Meepo jumps at me, if he's got 3 Meepos, nets for 2 seconds, nets for 2 seconds, nets for 2 seconds, that's 6 seconds of me not moving, and I'm very likely to die if that's the circumstance. So now that I have mech, what I should be doing probably is group up with my team and try to force a tower, because my corrosive skin's maxed out. I can heal my allies, I can bottle myself, I can bottle my allies, and I have a magic stick, so I have tons of heals. My HP is not that high, my attack speed is pretty low, so my ability to poison attack and do damage is maybe a little bit weak, but it's not the worst. Just wanted to do a little damage to those guys. I maybe should have thrown one more poison attack on Centaur. And this is one reason that Silencer is really good against Viper, at least in the early game. If he throws his last word on you, you can't cast a spell because the only spell you have is your ultimate. So if you cast last word on me, it guarantees that it's going to silence and disarm. And since I do actually want to attack, the disarm is kind of a big deal. So that's one way that Silencer is good against Viper. I really like to get treads on Viper. I used to like to get phase, but I think it's a little bit too squishy in terms of your personal survivability. And the attack speed is really good too, because if you're ever applying poison on multiple people, then you can attack faster and therefore proc it out. I wish Tide was here for this push. This didn't feel very safe to me. Yeah, I think I wanted him to sit back a little bit because I was scared about a global silence and then Centaur coming in. So I actually didn't know that they were coming. I'm saving my mech. I want to save until like last second, until things are about to get really bad. There we go, I used it there. I maybe should have ran left. Oh, that Thunderstrike was so disappointing. I was like, oh no, he misclicked. Luckily the silencer came back in and fed. That's dispersion right there. I can't believe that worked. Like, I actually don't like Spectre's skill build very much at all, because, well, maybe he did it to adjust for the Meepo, but I'm unsure. I bought a full magic wand here because it gives me more HP, more stats, more burst heal. I think I maybe should have saved up for a Belt of Giant Strength though, I'm not sure, or gotten an Aquila. Aquila actually wouldn't give me any more HP, it'd only give me like one more strength. It would give me more right click damage though, which is kind of good, but I think I could have done that better. The reason I think Spectre went that build is because he's going to take damage from their AoE methods, and if he gets 3 levels of dispersion, he's going to be reflecting a bit more HP. He went this like battle build, it was pretty weird. He went Treads into Sanjin Yasha, he didn't go Radiance, he didn't go like Manta, he didn't go anything standard. He was like, yeah, I'm going to get a Sanjin Yasha and a Treads and I'm going to gank constantly. It was really weird. I got a DD now, which is pretty cool. The PA throws a lot of daggers at me during this time period, kind of hoping for crits. The problem with taking the damage is that if I want to heal it, I have to use a bottle, a wand, or a mech. I don't really want to use mech because it's a long cooldown. I definitely don't want to use bottle because I have a DD, and I don't want to waste it in there. He just crits for like 225 here, so I was like, alright, I guess I'm going to heal. I was actually talking to Trent right now, and I was like, what do you think I should build this game? Because I was fairly sure that I should get a BKB, but he was like, oh, you should get Treads and Aquila first, which I agreed with. I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds right. And that was what I was planning to get anyway. So I just kind of wanted to farm for a little bit and get power treads here. I could have bought my Belt of Giant Strength here. I think I should have. That word is actually really useful. Mech's still on cooldown for a bit. One of my allies is swinging around. I should have been paying attention, but I was not, unfortunately. I used my DD. Kind of wanted to fight this. Oh, then I misclicked a billion times. I could have done that way better. Unfortunately for me, I ran out of HP. My mech wasn't off cooldown yet. But the main mistake... The main mistake by far was that I missed my Viper Strike like 3 times. I kept trying to click it and I couldn't click on him. If I had ultied him, he would have been slowed and positioned here instead of over here, and I might have done a lot more damage. So that was a really big mistake. I also didn't buy out before I died, and then I settled for a Wraith Band afterwards, which was honestly just really stupid. I got 1 strength point out of that. I could have definitely bought a Belt of Giant Strength, increased my HP by 6 strength, which is like 100. It's like 100 HP. It took me forever to get my treads this game because I was doing well. I got my mech, I had my bottle, and then I was like, oh, I'll buy a wand, and then I was like, oh, I'll buy a Wraith Band, and like buying those, like it doesn't take a lot to buy treads. It takes 450 gold, and then you wait a little bit longer and you've got the treads. And the attack speed is useful, and the strength is good, and you can tread switch if you need to mech, you can tread switch if you need to wand, you can tread switch if you need to ulti. It like makes all of your stats go farther. And I bought all these like other shitty items first, and that was a big mistake. And it honestly really hurt me, because the way that you farm with Viper is you right click creeps in lane, and then you win team fights and don't die. And I kept dying. And that's really detrimental to my ability to snowball as Viper. Because if we check our net worth now, I'm like, look at that. I'm like half of what Meepo has. Like, I am way behind where he is now. I'm like equal to the PA, which is okay. And I still have my core items of mech, but like, you can't die in fights. You need, when you're playing Viper, like you need to continue doing well. It's really important on Viper, because if you get behind, you're a low mobility hero. You have low solo kill potential. You have low gank potential. You need to like live through team fights, not die, and that's how you get your gold on Viper. So it's really important that you stay alive and you make those good decisions. It's like super important. I was hoping we can maybe kill. Did he have glimpse? I was like waiting for glimpse, but we didn't get one. And I was like, all right, we can kill this guy. Like maybe we have glimpse or something. This is a little over eager for me. I thought my team was gonna come, but I guess the centaur went in the back lines or something was what happened. I guess centaur went in the back lines and he messed with my team while I was deep myself. And I shouldn't have dived that far anyways. And I also should have poison attacked the silencer before I ultied, I think. I mean, it ended up in our favor, but honestly that was not because of me. I mean, I accomplished my job as a Viper, I guess. I like ultied, I slowed, I mech'd myself, and I healed with a wand, and I probably did like 150, 200 magic damage to the enemy team, but honestly that fight was not won because of me. That was more like my team kind of carried me, and honestly that's basically what happened this game. I didn't play that well, I think, but it's a demonstration of how to play Viper, and I thought it was a good opportunity to talk about it a lot. Luckily I did buy out before I died there, but unfortunately Dota says, yeah, we want to buy that Gloves of Haste first. So bought the Gloves of Haste for the first item, which I was a little unhappy about, but whatever. So I went to the bot lane because there was creeps to farm, and I really wanted to finish my power treads because I keep dying, and obviously those are my fault, but that's a Meepo. To be really careful about a net here, so I had to back up, because if he does net me, unless somebody comes to back me up, I will die. There's like no way that I'll be able to kill one of the Meepos fast enough. If you don't have like, I mean I have AoE damage, but it's very, very low, and he can always just teleport home if he really needs to, so have to be very, very careful when you're playing Viper against a Meepo. So I think my treads are coming now. Attack speed, tread switching, and a little more HP. Gives me about 100 HP. Generally, you want to stay in strength treads. You don't really want to do agility treads. Mostly strength and int is what you want, because again, your mana pool is a little low before you buy Aghanim's components, and you want HP to go farther. You're not really about the right click too much. It's not like you lifesteal on the extra damage or anything. So, team is kind of fighting on the mid lane, which I saw. Make sure you tread switch before you TP, by the way. I think I did it here. And once they global silence, I was like, alright, shit's serious. I didn't really have to look, I just knew that shit was going to be serious. I should have slowed, I should have hit that Meepo, but I messed it up.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I got really flustered in this fight.
Silence is broken.
I think that could have been, I think I could have done that a lot better. I didn't see that Meepo really low, and I should have aimed for him first. I think he still ended up dying, so it was okay, but we did lose Spectre in that fight. And I was really slow in hitting the silencer. I got overwhelmed a lot this game, I don't know. Honestly, didn't play very well. So, at this point I told the Disruptor to back because this is greedy. A lot of times I'll actually just continue these pushes because I'm stupid and greedy, and I'll be like, yeah, we'll just hit this, and hopefully, like, we just want to fight. Like, some of them are dead. Obviously, they won't have 5, but it doesn't take a lot to kill a hero. It's like 3 heroes tops is usually all it takes, so. I'll just grab a bounty rune. I really didn't get very many good runes this game. I honestly am unsure if my bottle choice was right. It was good the first, like, 3 times I used it, but after that, it kind of ended up being a little useless. But it was good for, like, late game pushing. Gives me more mana. I did use the mana quite a bit against the Meepo because I was using a lot of poison attacks. It costs 20 mana every poison attack you throw, so it's actually pretty expensive. Anyways, what I should have built here was BKB right away, and that's because of the heroes that I'm playing against. Now, I already talked about how, like, Silencer, a Viper is okay against Silencer because global silence isn't a big deal. I'm still going to survive, I can still mech. Those are like the two things that are important, that you mech your team and that you stay alive. Meching your team is obviously important because it keeps them alive. It's about giving them, you're basically farming for your team's extra HP essentially. So that's good. That I can do that, but if you get a BKB, then you can also ulti and also, importantly, poison attack the supports or the heroes that you don't want to escape, which is going to be Silencer mainly, and maybe Sand King if he's out of position. Centaur is another good one actually. We got really lucky with this fight because we ravaged and we Spectre ultied right before the global silence. That could have gone so much worse. And luckily, we ended up wrecking them, but I ended up walking over for that. I was late, obviously, but. And I just said, screw it, I'm gonna work on an Aghanim Scepter. And I think this was the wrong choice because Eggs is good because it increases your mana by 150, which is a huge amount compared to what I have now. The extra HP is fantastic, but I could do that with an Ogre Club too. Ogre Club gives 190 HP, Point Booster gives 250. I wouldn't get the int or the mana out of it, but the BKB is so good because it stops Sand King stun, it stops silences from Silencer, it stops Meepo nets is really important, so if Meepo ever chain nets me and is about to poof on me, I just pop BKB and then he doesn't do damage except for right click. And if he right clicks me, that's fine. But if I can BKB and guarantee that Meepo can't just burst me if I'm out of position, it gives me a lot of like, gets me out of oops I messed up moments essentially. And it doesn't let Centaur stun me and things like that. It's like overall the best way to go, I think. It's and based on our draft here, which is basically like really good team fight, BKB is usually the way to go because that means we should be forcing team fights, and then I should have items that allow me to do better in the team fights. Instead, I was like, nah, man, I'm just gonna get eggs because I love eggs. But the problem with eggs as well is even though the ulti is on a really low cooldown, as the fight starts, they're gonna global silence, so I won't be able to ulti there. By the time the global silence ends, the fight's gonna be like half determined at that point. So really, I'm only gonna get to ulti one time anyways. I should carried a TP here. I should have sold my Wraith Band earlier. This is another reason I was upset about buying the Wraith Band because it ended up not being useful at all. And I could have maybe guaranteed that kill. So I was a little sad about that. Really shouldn't have bought that Wraith Band. I should have just sold my Circlet later and upgraded Treads first. And I probably would have died 1 or 2 times less and probably snowballed a little harder. So yeah, Eggs isn't very good. Unless I ulti to start the fight off and that's cooldown while the global silence goes off, then the Eggs wasn't that useful other than for the HP components, which is good because you do want that. Unfortunately, he canceled his animation there, but I mean, you want to do that, but it's only so good. I don't know if Silencer died in the base. Doesn't look like it. We kind of wanted to split. We were kind of split pushing a lot, but it's kind of difficult to do that this game because of the Meepo. He could be everywhere.
Top tower is under
With the TP, we definitely have to back off because he can definitely blink. That's definitely not come with me. I would. The guy was actually playing really well, but I doubt it was him. Really doubt it was him. The guy played way better than his MMR, I think. I think he was like 4,500 MMR or something, and he played pretty well, I thought. Except for right here, because I knew they were going to kill him. One of the few times. So we knew they're all by the tier 2 tower, and if they disappear, they're obviously moving towards mid, or they're smoking into our jungle. Those are the only 2 ways to move. So if you go on somebody mid, they're very quickly going to be there. So that was a little bit of a bad idea. I think Meepo has a blink dagger at this point, if we check. Yeah, he does. He has blink ags. He's actually pretty far behind a snowballed Meepo. Again, that was due to the Earth Spirit helping me camp him at the beginning, and me lucking out on a kill. And oh, I was really sad about missing those 2 last Sith. And I missed that one too. So bad. The Spectre built an MKB here because we were worried about evasion on the Phantom Assassin, which is a good idea because Phantom Assassin is actually a good counter to Spectre because all physical damage and you lifesteal generally, which means that the damage you take from the refraction or whatever, no, it's the dispersion passive means that it'll be healed back slightly. So, and PAs usually grab BKBs. I don't think this guy did. He went Basher first, which was actually a mistake. He should have gone Helm, BKB, Basher, or, I mean, he had a rough game. I think he should have gone Treads as well. Against the Spectre, you need a lot of damage. You don't just need mobility. You need to be able to, like, do a ton of damage in a brief amount of seconds. So if you go like Treads, Helm of the Dominator with a Battle Fury into a BKB or something, I think that might have been better. Here's a perfect example of why, It's a perfect example of why BKB would have been good, and it's a good example. It wasn't necessarily me being out of position, it was actually him ganking. I think I actually didn't have BKB money either way. I had about 3,000 gold there since I finished my mech and wand. But if I had a BKB and he jumps on me like that, I can just BKB, we can turn around, we can kill him, and then I don't die, Meepo dies. So it was actually slightly worth it for Meepo there to kill me. I don't think it was actually because Spectre got the kill, and he was just all over the map getting kills all the time. And they actually did also use Global Silence, which is a mistake. I think he keeps trying to like silence as the Spectre ulties or something, but he's not reacting fast enough. It's really tough to do it on time, in my opinion. But BKB is great for a lot of reasons, and that's an example. Tide was doing a really good job of farming this game. I think his net worth was above mine. Yeah, it was quite a lot. In fact, I lost a lot of net worth in that fight. PA jumps below me again. Spectre's like out of control, but yeah, Meepo's really strong right now. A lot of people think that Meepo's overpowered, especially in pubs. Maybe not so much in competitive because people don't play in competitive too much, but in pubs he's the top MMR hero basically. He's the best for gaining MMR because you can basically stack for yourself while you're laning, and if you get good at the micro, you can really accelerate quickly. So, luckily for us, we had really good heroes to deal with it. Viper's not the best, but Spectre kind of works. Tide is great, Earth Spirit is great, and Disruptor is pretty great too. Because it's all AoE disabled. If you AoE silence a Meepo group, it's fantastic. Because they won't be poofing, they'll just be right clicking, and that's only so good. So if you catch them with like Ravage into like Disruptor ulti, those are dead Meepos. Like, it doesn't matter too much how far I'm there. And also, in terms of Viper, pay attention to how I'm posturing here. I'm moving up very far. I want to be in the front of my team because I want them to go on me first. Even though I've been dying a little bit too much, it doesn't mean that you don't want them to go on you first. So I'm probably going to stand on the top of the hill. I'll be the one hitting the tower. I might take some tower damage, but I'll try not to take too much. And I'll sit on strength treads, of course. I'm going to sit back while this is about to go off. JK, time to go.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I would have liked to ulti the silencer before I died there. I was really glad that Ravage hit him. If that Ravage didn't hit the PA, it's very likely I would have died there. There we go, I did my job right. As soon as I knew the fight was starting, I backed off a little bit because I want to be positioned around my allies. And I don't want to mech right away, you have to wait until they take a little bit of damage because it heals 250. And all of a sudden, if they take like 1 or 2 pulses of the epicenter, I'm like, okay, that's it, bam. Pop the mech, and then I ride the damage out. And then hopefully right after that, I can ulti somebody. Or I can ulti somebody during the global silence. But it worked out pretty good. If the PA was more farmed, I would have died there, guaranteed. So that was also a symptom of us being far ahead of our opponents that I ended up surviving in that fight. But it went okay. So building Ags. This might have been a good blade mail game actually. If PA doesn't go BKB, blade mail is fantastic. If he does have BKB, then I definitely wouldn't want blade mail. And he's probably the only hero that it's that good at. It's kind of good against Sand King, but he doesn't. If he's got his epicenter off, he doesn't really care that much. This is kind of dangerous for Spectre to do, so I came to show up. Give him a little mech here. Tried to put poison attack on as many people as I could before I died. Not the best fight. We lost 4 for 3, I think, which wasn't good, especially if we just took a Rex. I'm sure that's going to massively change our net worth if we look at the fight recap. Yeah, we lost a lot in that fight actually. I lost 360. I used my treads 3 times. That was pretty cool. I didn't want that to close, but whatever. 15,000, 15,000. So we're really far ahead, yeah. What's the goal there? I don't know what that means. So, Aghanims, TP scrolls, I can ulti every 12 seconds now, and the range is increased from 600 to 900. Really good.
Illusion.
So there we go, TV scrolls. We're gonna rush on now because that'll guarantee us another Rax. And if that's actually a great lane to Rax if you want to rush on, because that means this lane is usually going to be pushed in. If this lane is pushed out, then it's a little bit harder. Plus we have all these towers, so if we ever want to defend, we can buy back TP here and re-engage.
A gift from the tempest of battle.
I almost think a heart would have been better this game as well, just because the overall survivability would have been good against the generic damage that I'm taking. But if you get heart instead, then it limits your damage output. It basically turns you into a slow machine. You're like a tanky guy that just slows people, and that's kind of useful but not amazing. I mean, Nether Toxin is good for physical damage, but they have to be low in the first place. And you can get them low with poison attack and corrosive and stuff, but sometimes hard is the right item, but this was definitely not the game. I kind of wanted the Aegis here personally. I think it might have been better if I did it because I could have been super aggressive, but Spectre by far has more damage than we do, so in other ways it's very good that he did, because he basically won all damage items. He literally just bought damage items. He had about 2,000 HP here, and not a huge amount of survivability, but with the Aegis, I mean, he can be really aggressive, and again, with the Daedalus and a Monkey King bar, he's gonna two-shot people. So I went top rune just to see if anything was there. There was a regen, which I think is worth grabbing, so came back for the fight. Meepo very wisely is gonna do some slow pushing. Might get lucky here with a kill. Looks like the Silencer died. That's good. He was smart though, and he didn't use his ulti. I was hoping he would burn his ulti before he died, but I kind of wanted to ulti that, but he was just going to sandstorm dodge it. Whenever I can, I'll just throw ultis out to keep people's HP low. He actually BKB'd. So, just watching for people to cast ulti on. They called back here. I think for some reason the Spectre went top. He must have tried to kill somebody. I bet he went back to try to kill Meepo, and then Meepo got out or something. I didn't see this time, or in-game. I didn't know why he had backed, but he had backed. So we kind of had to back up. But he's on his way back now, so we gave it another shot. I think we had a gem. Yeah, we had a gem on Disruptor, so. I would love to heal him, but Mecha is such a long cooldown, you really have to save it. Especially if you're about to team fight. Again, throwing ultis whenever I can, just for a little bit of damage. I think it does like 100 damage over 6 seconds. Oh, it's 145 actually. It's really big, or 5 seconds. So it does like... I think that was a waste of an ult. That was funny, he got trapped. I think my ulti there was a waste on the Meepo. And then he bought back immediately and went top. That was really smart. So we got 2 racks out of this. But they had 3 dead heroes, and I felt like Meepo wasn't a problem. I thought it was the right choice to push. Because we got 2 racks out of it, but we wanted to punish harder, and they took a racks out of us. So if we go back to playing safe, they're kind of in a good spot. So I felt like we had to take this opportunity to do some damage. So we killed all of the Moonwells, and we pressured the tier 4s. Trying to slow all of these guys. Kind of almost killed him. It was pretty close. I think I bought up before I died as well. So I'm finally building a BKB. I was like, oh, I'll make a BKB now. Now that we won the game and I can buy anything. I really should have had it earlier though. The eggs wasn't that useful. I got to lower some of their guys' HP. I mean, I guess we got PA to pop his BKB, but I don't think that's gonna matter. Like, he's got no items. He has a BKB and a Skull Basher and a Helm of the Dominator. That's not good enough to carry this game. So, I'm just going to speed this up till I respawn. Running mid. And I was like, I need to farm my Black King bar. And that's how you do it, bounty runes, guys. And running in circles is another guy. I wanted to go down there, but I saw the Meepo was there, and he can easily solo kill me if he catches me, so I can't go farm there without dying. Then I was like, somebody pinged bot lane, and I didn't check to see where the creep wave was, so I thought it was that tower, so I TP'd. And I was like, oh, the creep wave's not there, so this is actually completely a waste of TP, especially because our team's like eventually going to push top. I was like, maybe I can get one creep, because if I sell my wand, I can buy my BKB. But I was like, oh, Meepo's here, shit. So Meepo just farmed that, which means I just needed about 100 gold, because it's 1375, wand sells for 250. I was like, there we go. Hit the medium creep, it's gonna die. There's my gold. But now I have to sell my wand. And the courier is being used as well, so. What are you gonna do? Courier was used a lot this game, I felt. Team is pinging for us to come top, which is the right call. So we moseyed on over. It's a heart on Spectre. He was the one that used it. He needed it. Makes sense. I'm actually sold my bottle instead. I felt like wand is a bit better at this case because they have silences and a lot of DPS, like Curse of the Silent and Meepo right click and Sand King damage. That getting a wand I thought was going to be more useful in a fight. Bottle's overall more heal, but you don't always get to use that, especially like a really late game scenario like this. There's so much crap flying around that it's usually a bit better just to. Okay, he ulted for that. Pretty much just trying to do damage to like all the Meepos.
Radiant's Ancient is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's Ancient is under attack.
It's like Spectre died at the fountain.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack. Radiant's
and
top
that's
barracks has fallen.
that's pretty much the end of the game. So that's how you play
Radiant's
Viper.
top barracks has fallen.
If you're picking Viper, I really feel like you need to get Mech and you need to defend your team. If you're not doing that, there's no reason to pick Viper. Mech is like the way to go. You get Mech, you take AoE damage, you heal up your team. Wait till they take a little damage and then you heal them up. It's like if I buy a 2,300 gold item, it basically means that everybody on my team has like 300 HP, 300 to 350 HP. Now, the important distinction that you may not be realizing, it does heal 250, but you have to remember with heals are better than damage dealt. Like, healing for 250 is like doing 325 damage to something. I don't know what the numbers are, but remember that magic is reduced, so it actually does better than that. So it's actually, I mean, I guess it is equivalent to a vitality booster. It's equivalent to a vitality booster, but it's not equivalent to 250 damage, so it's really good. Heals up your team, and that's what you kind of need to do against AoE lineups like Sand King. If you're against the Sand King, a Mech is fantastic in the early game on one of your cores if you can get it. So, and that's pretty much how you play Viper. So I hope you enjoyed. I'll probably be making a couple more videos today, so tune in for those. I'll try to upload them tomorrow at the very latest. And I think that's it. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.